He's nice until he's not. He's friendly until he's not. He's cooperative until he's not. He's likable until he's not. Hello, I'm Dr. David Hawkins. I'm the director of the Marriage Recovery Center, and I want to talk to you about something we've all heard about, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And what you maybe haven't heard as much about is the topic of covert emotional abuse. Dr. Jekyll, the nice guy, Mr. Hyde, his shadow side, whom he doesn't want anyone to see. So the bully is the overt emotional abuser. You know, he walks around large, tall, dominant, controlling, and everybody knows it. Watch out for him. But the covert emotional abuser, not so easy to see. And in fact, the victim, often the wife of the emotional abuser, wonders, does anybody else see this? Does anybody else experience this? I don't think so. No one would believe me because he's Dr. Jekyll in front of everybody else. He's on the school board. He's on the elder board. He's a leader in the community. He's got a profession. He makes money. He is respected. He's got power, and he uses it in healthy ways at times. But not Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde has an attitude, subtle, often attitude, sometimes not so subtle, attitude of superiority, dominance, and control. His way trumps your way. What he wants is going to happen one way or another. And he might be quite passive-aggressive about it. It may not be overt. He may be obstinate. He may be oppositional. He may be defiant. He may push in ways that you can't really quickly identify, but boy, can you feel it. And that's called covert emotional abuse. When his way is dominant, it's controlling, and your identity, the victim of narcissistic and emotional abuse, suffers, often insidiously, time and time and time again, and her well-being is subjugated to his well-being. Her desires, her needs are always subjugated to what he wants. And guess what? Emotional quicksand. When you try to confront Mr. Hyde, no, Mr. Hyde is hiding and won't own up. In fact, flips it back onto you. And I've often said one of the ways to know that you're with a covert emotional abuser or a crazy maker is that you will feel crazy. You will feel exhausted. It's tiring. Remember that health and a healthy relationship is a relationship where you have the ability to approach your mate with a concern and they will welcome it. They will embrace you and your concern, and they will help you find a solution to it, even if it pertains to him. Not so with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll prides himself in being what he thinks as a healthy man. He prides himself in all the respect that he gets in the community and in the church and in different places. All right, so covert emotional abuse is just as destructive, if not more so, than overt emotional abuse. Again, what is covert emotional abuse? It is any action taken that denigrates another's well-being on a consistent basis. It's done by passive-aggressive actions, obstinate actions, oppositional actions, actions of superiority, stonewalling, gaslighting. It didn't happen. I didn't do it. I didn't say that. That's not the way it happened. And picking apart your argument so that your head is spinning and you wonder what's going on. Playing the victim. Oh my goodness. A covert emotional abuser is going to say to you, you're not the one being harmed. I am. Everything that you accuse me of, you do. You think you're so good, you're not. And so it goes on and on again. His anger, while he may not throw things, certainly not where others would see it, he may not slam doors, he may, but you know he's brooding with anger. You know he's got hostility inside of him. And again, remember, emotional quicksand, if you attempt to confront him about his anger, he will have none of it. Not happening. This abuse, in fact, he hates the word abuse, right? Hates the word abuse. He's not abusive. Abusive is a label for those men who beat their wives. Well, guess what? Covert emotional abuse is a beating of another kind. It is terribly destructive, terribly damaging, and we have an epidemic of it. So this covert emotional abuse, why is it done? It is done to gain power and control. This is a 6-year-old boy, emotionally needy, having the skills of a 6-year-old. He's not able. I'm not letting him off the hook, by the way, by saying this, but he's not able to come to you and in a healthy and respectful way say, look, I've got some feelings, I've got some concerns I want to share with you. Not able to do it. He is typically passive until he's passive aggressive or aggressive. All right, covert emotional abuse is something that often cannot be seen, but once you get good at identifying it, you will see it. You will see, oh, there's that passive aggressiveness again. There's that pouting. There's that controlling action. There's that withdrawal. There's that withholding affection. There are those actions taken so that he will get what he wants. Covert emotional abuse is terribly destructive and it must be called out. And that's what we're doing in this series of videos. We want you to know that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is terribly damaging because you don't know whether you're going to get Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. And by the way, he doesn't own up. It would even be a step of health if he could say, I'm shifting into Mr. Hyde. That is seamless, folks. It's seamless, meaning he shifts without even noticing it. His level of awareness is practically zero. And so, what do we need to do about this phenomenon? Well, all of us, victims of emotional abuse, covert emotional abuse, treaters of emotional abuse, covert emotional abuse, we must be on the alert for this problem. We must name it. We must identify these patterns of stonewalling, controlling, withdrawing, obstinacy, passive aggression, gaslighting. We must see it. We must name it. And that will give us one step toward healing from it. All right. Know that this is a horrific phenomenon. Know that most can't see it. And so you, the one who's a victim of emotional abuse, you're going to be the one that's going to bring about change. And you can do it, and we will help you do it. Okay, take care.